Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's DJ Rachel and I am so excited to be dropping my latest video on VIBO 2.0. Now I actually did a video on VIBO over 3 years ago and so much has changed. I decided to do a brand new video to really highlight some of the tremendous updates and changes to the service. Now, if this is your first time hearing about VIBO, it is a timeline and music management app built specifically for DJs. This allows you as the DJ to work directly with your client with an app-based service where they can input music and the details for their event. Now, I want to be clear that VIBO is not a CRM. It is not designed to do contracts or act as a payment gateway, even though you're going to see a little hack later on. So if you are using a CRM, this is not trying to convince you to move off of that CRM. You would use this as an enhancement for your customer service with your clients. I get asked all the time how I'm able to balance so much between working a full-time job as well as running a DJ service and then all the other stuff that I'm involved in. And other than caffeine and pizza, my answer 110% is going to be VIBO. It saves me so much time prepping for my events. It gives peace of mind not only to me, but to my clients, and it has absolutely locked in more sales because after I have my initial consult with the client and I kind of explain how easy and stress-free their planning is going to be, they feel so much more at ease, and honestly, they're looking for that kind of elevated customer service. They don't want Google Docs, they don't want to communicate over hundreds of emails. It just gives so much more of a professional and premium experience. I actually have numerous reviews left by my clients that specifically talk about VIBO and how much they love the app and how much easier it made their lives when planning their special events. So before we dive into this video, I just want to preface this by saying this is a very detailed look into how I set up my events for my wedding clients, and it's going to show you the ins and outs of VIBO, but it does not go over everything that VIBO does. Frankly, it does so much, there is no way I could fit it in one video, so I will be doing some follow-up content after this, but I first wanted to just kind of highlight the basics of how VIBO 2.0 works. With that said, let's get started. For today's example, we are going to be doing a wedding, so you can see exactly what I would be doing for all of my couples. Keep in mind, though, that VIBO is good for any type of event or celebration. I also want to mention that I am creating this event directly from my cell phone, which is in my hand right now. I find it tremendously convenient that I can create, edit, and alter any event from my phone, on the go, wherever I am at a moment's notice. What I usually like to do is start out by creating a custom graphic in Canva, just something really simple to make it a little bit more personalized. So this way, when they open up their host link, they're welcomed to a screen that is unique to them. I have different graphics, whether it's a Sweet 16, maybe it's a prom, maybe a birthday party, a corporate event, and I can add the business's logo. In this case, again, this is a wedding, so I just simply have the couple's name right here. You'll also notice at the bottom of the graphic where it says tap the camera to add a photo of you both. This is a really helpful feature to me as a DJ, so I can see who I'm working with if we haven't had a chance to have our face-to-face yet, or if I'm going through all of my events, it helps me easily identify which timeline and event I'm working with. So I always encourage my couples to add a photo of them, and it also keeps it a little bit more fun and personalized while they're using the app. Next, I'm going to come down and add the event title. So in this case, it's going to be Kelly and Steven for no particular reason. Now we're going to select the event date. Let's see, September is a pretty popular month, and I have no idea what day of the week this is, so we're just going to select September 30th. All right, that's a Monday. We could do better than a wedding on a Monday. So let's bump this down to the 29th. Now I do find it helpful that the app actually does tell you what day of the week it is. This way, if you've entered in something wrong, it's more likely going to be noticed by you. I don't really have a lot of clients getting married on Mondays, so it kind of prompts me to go back, maybe check the paperwork to make sure I'm entering the correct date. Next, we're going to come down and select our event type. What I find tremendously helpful with VIBO is that they have a lot of sample templates. So let's just say you're not very familiar with mitzvahs or quinceañeras or the kind of flow of a timeline for a Sweet 16. You can look at other template samples to see kind of how things flow and what type of elements are included in those events. So like I said, today we're going to be doing a wedding, so let me tap that. And now I'm going to come down to the template section where I'm going to select the template that I want to work from. Now, my templates that I created are right here at the top, and you can add and change and have as many of these as you want. What's also really cool is that VIBO has a tremendous community, and there are certain VIBO users that have made their templates public. I have mine public as well, but you can see that we have, Joe Bunn has his wedding planner up here, Rick Webb has his, and several other users so that other DJs can view them, they can use them, they can also copy them, make changes, and then use them as their templates as well. So I think this is really neat to be able to see kind of what others in the community are doing and kind of how they organize and communicate with their clients. So for today though, we're going to be using mine. So I'm just going to tap my wedding essentials timeline, and then now the event is active, and the last thing we have to do is choose where the event is going to be. So let me type in, I don't know, a local venue here. The Society Room of Hartford is a pretty cool place. As you can see, powered by Google, and it's going to pop up and makes it super, super easy. All you do is now tap done up here in the upper right-hand corner, and now it's going to create this event, and then we can continue to further customize this and or send it to our client. Now that our event is created, we can dive into some of the best features of VIBO. Before using this app, I was going crazy trying to keep track of all of the communications with my clients, meaning they were sending text messages, emails, DMs, messenger messages, voicemails, and it just was a lot to keep track of. So by having everything now in one centralized location for both me and the client, things are organized and that no details are going to get missed. This dashboard is exactly what the client is going to see on their phone, so let's go through some of these sections now. Starting at the top, you see timeline and music and planning questions. When a client taps either one of these sections, this is where they will input either their music choices or the information related to their event or timeline. We'll come back to these sections in just a minute. Moving right along, now we're on to the people section. Now obviously I am already part of this event since I created it, but now I have to invite whoever event this is through sending them a link. So I tap invite people, and then from here I decide, do I want to invite them as a host or do I want to invite them as a guest? Now why would you pick one or the other? Obviously, if I'm working with a birthday girl or a birthday boy or a wedding client, they're going to be a host because you want them to have complete control over the event. If you want someone to be able to make music suggestions but don't want them to have complete access to edit, remove, delete, and shuffle things around, then you're going to want to invite them with a guest link. A perfect example of this would be if a couple wanted to invite their wedding party to be able to add some songs to the dancing playlist. All they would do is tap invite as a guest and then distribute that to their wedding party. I am now going to invite the couple to the VIBO app so they can start planning. So I am now going to tap invite as a host, and from here I can select how I want to send out this invitation. I can send this as a text message, I can send this out as an email, I'm able to send this in Messenger, or I can just copy the link, maybe paste it into a message on Instagram, literally whatever you want to do. So I am going to send this as a email right now. It's going to pull up this email, and then it's going to have a predetermined prompt that goes directly to the couple, kind of explaining to them what I need them to do. Hey, it's DJ Rachel. Open this VIBO link to download the app and start planning the timeline and music for your special day. I have my contact information right here in case they have any questions about how to use this app. Then it has the link that they need to tap, and that's it. You can customize this message to say whatever you want. Next is the planning progress, and this directly correlates to the timeline in music and planning questions up at the top. As the client enters in their information or selects their music, these progress bars are going to correspond based on how much they have or have not completed. This is a great way to keep everybody on track. Moving right along, we're now at the general section, which this has all of the main details for the event, and we can edit this right within the app. One of my favorite features is the fact that I can come and tap this location, simply choose my navigation of choice. Let's go with Google Maps. It's going to open up Google Maps, so now the day of the event, I can simply hit start and be on my way to the event. Let's edit some of this information here. Now you'll notice that we do have a countdown to the celebration right here, and there's also a countdown to the lockout date, and I'll explain that right now. So let me go to event settings here at the bottom. So the days before locking is actually a super important and helpful feature. This prevents the client or couple making changes right before the event that I may not be aware of. So for example, let's just say we're 2 days out from the event and I have already prepped the music and the couple wants to change their first dance song. This now forces them to say, hey, we wanted to update our song, but we noticed that our app is locked out. Can you make that change? So I usually like to get all my information about 30 days out from the event. This way we can have kind of a final consult to make sure that I have everything correct. Permissions is where we grant certain access to either hosts or guests. Typically, I like to give my host complete control over their event. So I do allow them to invite other guests, and I also allow them to add sections and reorder sections, and we'll take a look at that when we get to the timeline portion. I do, however, have the guests can invite guests toggled off. Obviously, I want to prevent a free-for-all, and the host should be aware of those who are adding music. Now moving on to the songs section. This is definitely kind of a controversial topic amongst DJs based on how much music we feel a client should be providing us. I have my defaults for every section, 30 songs per section with 10 must plays, but I can change this. Let's just say you want your client to have, free reign to add as much as they want. Simply just delete these numbers, and now you'll see the infinity symbol, and now they can add as much or as little as they like. Now would be a good time to check out our sections up at the top, the timeline of music and planning questions. So first, let's start with the planning questions. I feel that every DJ should have some type of questionnaire for their couples so that you can capture all the important details and elements of the celebration. I have mine separated into different sections regarding just a general questionnaire, questions about their ceremony, their cocktail hour, and I'll kind of show you how some of these sections look. So let's start with the top section here, just like they would, where it says, let's get started. This is going to bring them to a generic questionnaire where I try to capture some details about them and the event. So let's start at the beginning, just how they would. So we tap on a question. Let's just say they graduated in 2003. They click next. What is the age range of your guests? They could say 2 to 65 years old, or whatever they want to type in. Will there be children? No children? On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate your crowd? Let's say they're going to give them a solid 8. How interactive do you want your DJ? Now you're going to notice that we moved from a text box to a multiple choice. Now I'm able to do this within the timeline template so that it makes it easier for them to answer some things, or I can limit their choices. They want a very interactive DJ. How many guests will be attending? Let's just say they have 150. What is your wedding color theme? We'll just say purple. Are using any social media tags? No, we are not. They can enter in all the contact information for their vendors, etc., etc. As you can see, they can also leave stuff blank if they just don't want to answer it. Their photographer is going to leave at 9 p.m. What are your expectations of the DJ? I actually get a lot of great feedback and notes in this section from my clients. Any other additional information your DJ should know? So this is where they could say, hey, it's also our parents' anniversary. Right there. And they could say, please announce after dinner. Or remember when I said that they might add a different section? They might add a section for that and then choose a song so that their parents can dance to it or something. Literally, the options are endless here. Can we blog to use on social media? Let's just say no, they don't want us to do that. So now you can see which questions they answered, which ones they skipped. So now if we go back out to our sections, you could see that they now completed 67% of the questions. They've answered 12 out of 18 of those. So this is super helpful, again, to kind of keep them focused and organized and for you to visually see what they did and what they have remaining. I just want to point out that this planning progress section has updated. You can see the status bar here has moved up 16% since we answered some of those questions. It's now reflected on the main dashboard. So right now, let's tap timeline music. And now this is the general timeline for this particular event. So right here, I have this kind of organized in the order of the day. So we start out with ceremony, then we move to cocktail hour, we have our reception segment, and then dancing down here at the bottom. So let's just say they don't want to do a last dance or a private dance. They can simply tap those three little dots, hit delete. It's going to confirm that we can remove that section, and now it's gone. They also can move things around. Just by simply pressing and holding, you can shuffle these in any order in any section, so that's pretty cool. Not only can they reorder sections, but they can also add a section. So going back to the example of maybe it's the bride's parents' anniversary the same day of their wedding, and they decided that they wanted to do a special dedication to them and give them a special song to dance to. So we can add a section here, or the client can do this, and let's just say they call it anniversary dance. We don't need unlimited songs. They just need to choose one. And we don't need a time because we just know it's going to happen after dinner. So now that section has been created. So now it puts it right here at the bottom with a simple tap and hold. We can now move this to right after dinner. And then now if the client taps that, they can add what song they want. Let's just say the parents want to dance to At Last by Etta James. We will tap and add that. And now this note section here is pretty cool. So let's just say they put their names, Keenly. Sure, we'll go with Keenly. Keenly and Sarah are the parents' names, and it's their 40th anniversary. Okay, so that's the notes that were left to us. Please announce. Okay, so that's the note that our couple has left us. So now if we back out of it, there's the section that was added. If they decide and they change their mind and they want to get rid of it, hit delete, and that's it. All right, so now let's take a look at adding music for the dancing section. So right here you can see that right now my client can add 50 songs. Again, I said you can change this at any time. Let's say I want to limit this to 30, and I'll now limit their must plays to 10. There we go, instant change. Now let's add the music. Simply tap the section, and now the client can add songs, or they can finish the questionnaire down here at the bottom. We'll get to that in just a minute. So let's add some songs. So from here, the client can either upload stuff from Spotify, Apple Music or a link from another source, or peruse some song suggestions that we can provide that are categorized really well, from decade hits, top hits of 2019, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. We got some Latin stuff, country hits, just to act as inspiration. You can add or remove as many of these as you like. So let's just say our client loves, I don't know, Africa by Toto. So now we're going to add that. We're going to tap the plus sign. That check means it's now been added to our dancing playlist. Now let's say they have a whole entire 2010 hits on Spotify. So they're going to tap that. They can choose to import the whole thing or just select individual songs. So we'll just select a couple of these. We'll tap import. We now imported 6 songs to their dancing playlist. And now let's say they want to add a couple of salsa songs from our recommendations. There we go. Now from here, the client has even more control. If they tap a song, they can mark it as must play. Let's just say you feel that Africa by Toto would make a better cocktail hour music song rather than a dance floor song. We can now move that song to cocktail hour. If they decided they made a mistake or they don't want a song, they can remove it altogether. Or they can mark a song as do not play, and it will remove it and put it in the do not playlist. Clients can also add notes, and now that note is going to show up underneath that song, and we'll mark that as a must play. Now, another really important feature, especially dealing with the special moment songs, it's going to be the ability to preview these. So actually, let me back out of this and go to their first dance. So now if I tap this, our couple has chosen Make You Feel My Love by Adele. As you know, now there are many different covers of songs, instrumentals, different versions, things like that. And I think one of the worst nightmares for a DJ is to play the wrong version. So obviously, since the couple has picked this themselves, you make sure that you have the right version. So here we can listen to it within YouTube, or you can tap Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, literally whatever platform you prefer to preview the song before you play it. Now, if we hit next, let's just say they're done adding songs. Now here's where the questionnaire can also be answered. You don't have to go back to that previous menu I showed you before. So they can simply swipe to the left. You can leave little notes. For example, I like to tell my couples, we want to make sure we fit as many of your desired tracks as possible. However, due to time constraints, there's only so much we can play. So please make sure your must plays are marked so that we know that they take priority in the set. So now here's some other questions that I wanted them to answer. Do you need clean edits of music played? Let's just say yes. Are there any group dances you like? They can click next. If they don't want to give you specific songs, maybe they just want to tell you what type of music they like. They're into punk rock, they're okay with wedding classics, and they enjoy all of the decades. Are guests allowed to make requests? Yes. Play anything they ask for, or no, we don't want them to make requests. Then extra notes about anything, click done. And now that section is complete. A couple of other things worth mentioning is these little hearts on the side. This is so that other people can vote whether or not they like the song. So remember the example I gave you of the couple wanting to invite their wedding party. People can kind of tap the heart and vote if they want to hear it or not. This way, when you come up to filter your songs, you can look at these as top voted, or what songs were added most recently, what the oldest ones were, or you can just do a custom order where you can kind of just press, hold, and drag if you like. And you're also able to see who added the song right up here, so you can see whether it's the couple that made the suggestion or other people with a guest link. Now, we don't have a lot of time to go too deep into this just because there's a lot you can do with it, and I want to keep this video as short as possible, but I do want to make mention that you can embed links within VIBO. So let's just say you have samples of photo booth backdrops you want them to look at, or you want to show them samples of uplighting. Maybe you want to put in a payment link. Maybe you want to link to your link tree. Literally whatever you want to do, you can paste a link in here. So we want both the DJ and host to see this section. We only want us to be able to delete it. We don't need songs on. We're going to leave the notes visible to both of us, and we can turn off the time. So now we tap done. I come down to the sample link. I will now post my link tree right here. Save. So now when they come to this section, they can tap whatever link you include, and then they'll be directed to whatever it is that you wanted them to visit. So here they can leave me a tip, they can leave me a review. Pretty cool. Again, payment links, websites, the options are endless, but I think this opens up a ton of more utility within VIBO. And now let's take a look at the PDF download here at the bottom. If we tap this, this allows you to download all of the information put in the app to one single PDF document, which then you can refer to during the event, or you can send it off to different vendors and or the client. Now, VIBO gives you a ton of flexibility here as well, where you can toggle on and off what you want to see and what you don't want to see. It breaks it into sections for the DJ. If you just want a PDF of your introduction information, stuff for the vendors and hosts and things like that. So I'm just going to leave everything as is right now. I'm going to tap download. It's going to start generating my PDF. It goes pretty quickly. And here we go. Now I know it's going to be a little small on the phone, but here we have our event information. We have our timeline details, a couple of the songs we selected. You can see here that in our open dancing section, that little note that we left about making it the last song of the night, you can see that right here. We have our do not plays, and then our sample link, which is still included, which is pretty awesome. So again, a ton of customization with this, but this gives you all of the information you need for your event in a nice, organized PDF. You simply print it out and you're ready to go. And as I wrap up this video, there are two more things that I wanted to point out on the front dashboard. If we come to the people section right here and tap on this little notepad and pen, this is going to give you an additional note section, only it's private to you, meaning only you, the DJ, can see this. Not the guests, not the host, not anybody. I actually use this quite frequently to add things like, let's just say maybe when we had our site visit, or if there was something I needed to remember to bring with me that day, maybe when they made their payments, how much they made it for, if you just want to be able to look at that quickly. Maybe one of their family members has a medical condition that they told you about, so you have to be careful to not use strobe lights. Literally whatever you want to put in here, but it is kept private just for you. So I think that is tremendously helpful. The other thing that I wanted to show was if you tap on my picture over here, it's going to bring up my DJ profile. This is a very convenient way for your clients to get in touch with you. As you can see here, you have your phone number, your email. Just with one tap, they could be right in contact with you. They also have the ability to share your contact with a friend. So if someone says, hey, your DJ was great, can you give us their information? They could do that from here. You can link to all of your socials. So if they tap on my Mixcloud, my YouTube, they're routed right to there. The point of this is to make this branded to your company. You don't have to sell this as a VIBO product. You can literally pretend you have this made just for your company if that's how you want to sell this. If you'd like to sign up or check out VIBO, you can visit vibodj.com and simply fill out your contact information or get in touch with them directly right here. There's their phone number and email address. I will say that they offer world-class customer service. They definitely want to make sure that you are maximizing all of the features, which is why I highly recommend checking out one of their demos. There's also a lot more to VIBO that I didn't even cover, such as the scanner, the online community group. There's just so much more to go, but I don't have time to cover that in the video today. VIBO is $100 a month, but I just simply kind of add that into my package pricing and offshoot that expense to my clients. And honestly, I don't think I could do my job without it. So thank you for your time to check this out. I absolutely love VIBO, and I cannot recommend this enough to any DJ out there who wants to sell more events, get more organized, and save a ton of time with event and music prep. We'll see you later, DJs.